Hey guys, and welcome back to the Family Fudge. Today we're doing something extra fun. I'm making 13 Halloween themed lunches that are so easy, it almost feels like cheating. These spooky lunches are filled with lots of store-bought shortcuts, and many of them are inspired by some of your favorite Halloween movies and shows. And the best part is, you can totally pull these off at home without spending all day in the kitchen. Now friends, some of these lunches are creepy, most of them are cute, and a few are downright bizarre, but every single one is LUNCHBOX friendly. So right now, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go ahead and jump right into lunch number 1. I'm kicking things off with a lunch inspired by the Disney classic Halloweentown, the place where it's always Halloween. And I'm definitely excited to make this lunch because Halloween is cool.
Why are you so obsessed with Halloween? Halloween is cool.
You guys have to let me know in the comments down below if you've ever watched any of the Halloweentown movies. Now, I believe they played these on Disney Channel back in the day, so it wasn't like a major movie or anything, but it's still a classic. For the main course, I want to make a jack-o'-lantern sandwich to look just like the big glowing pumpkin in the middle of Halloweentown. To make this, I'm using some regular sandwich bread and a pumpkin-shaped cookie cutter. Now for the filling, I'm going to spread a little bit of cream cheese. Most of my kids prefer cream cheese instead of mayo, but then to this, I'm going to add some ham and some cheddar cheese. And then with the other slice of bread, I'm going to create the jack-o'-lantern's face. Now I'm going to place this right on top. And you guys, I love how you can see that cheese glowing through the jack-o'-lantern's face. It really does remind me of the jack-o'-lantern in Halloweentown. Next, for the fruit, I'm making a mandarin pumpkin. Now, I think these little oranges already kind of look like little pumpkins, but to make these extra fun, I'm going to draw on a little jack-o'-lantern face using a food writer pen. You guys, I've been making these little jack-o'-lantern oranges for my kiddos for years, and it still puts a smile on their faces. Then, moving on to the veggies, I'm going to double it up here and make a tiny pumpkin pat. To make this, I'm going to start by cutting up some celery sticks, and I'm going to add these to the bottom to look like the grass. Then to make carrots into pumpkins, I'm going to start by peeling a large carrot with little pumpkins. All I have to do is place these on top of the celery to create a pumpkin patch. These little pumpkins are just like something that Grandma Aggie from Halloweentown might grow in her garden. And fun fact, you guys, about Grandma Aggie, did you know the actress that plays her is the real-life mother of the actress who plays Princess Leia? Yes, they are totally related, it's true. Now moving on to the snacks, I'm going to add a few different things that you might find at a fall festival in Halloweentown. First, I'm adding some pumpkin spice yogurt. This one is definitely seasonal, but I do have to warn you guys, if you are not a fan of pumpkin spice flavored things, then you probably won't like this yogurt. But of course, at our house, we love it. And something else I love is to decorate the top of the yogurt with just a few Halloween sprinkles. Now, I'm not sure if witches love sprinkles, but they probably do. Next, in the lunchbox, I'm going to add in some cheddar cheese cubes. These are nice and orange, keeping with our pumpkin theme. And speaking of pumpkins, I grabbed a big box of these super cute Halloween pretzels. But of course, I only want the pumpkin-shaped ones to go into this lunch. Next, I'm going to grab a handful of this pumpkin spice kettle corn, and I'm going to add that right over here. And then of course, I'm also adding in a Halloween themed applesauce pouch for good measure. Now for the treat, I do want to include something fun and festive, but of course I'm short on time. And since the kids have never tried these, I'm going to go ahead and pack one of these Little Debbie jack-o'-lantern brownies. These look so fun and festive, and I think they're kind of like cosmic brownies, but without the sprinkles and with a cute jack-o'-lantern face instead. And then lastly, for the drink, I grabbed a 6-pack of these little orange juice bottles, and I have a really simple but fun way to dress them up. I'm just gonna go ahead and peel off the label. Then using a Sharpie, I'm just gonna draw on a spooky but happy little jack-o'-lantern face. How cute is that, you guys? Now it looks like a fun drink straight out of Halloweentown. For today's lunch, I'm actually going to start by making the sweet treat first because they're going to take a little bit of time to set up. But don't worry, they are really easy. I'm making some no-bake peanut butter ghosts. These are so fun and cute and easy enough for kids to make. All you have to do is take your Nutter Butter cookies and you dip most of it into some melted white chocolate. Next, you just add some mini chocolate chips for the eyes and for the mouth of your ghost. And now I'm just going to set these in my fridge so that they can harden up. And while that's happening, I'm going to move on to some Haunted Mansion pasta salad. Now I could use either of these Halloween pasta packs, but instead, I'm just going to use this jumbo twisted pasta, and I'm going to make it super purple. Whenever I think of the Haunted Mansion, I automatically think of that purple wallpaper. So this really purple pasta is in honor of that. So once my pasta has fully cooked and cooled down, I'm going to add some mozzarella cheese ghosts. Now I just cut these out with a little ghost cookie cutter. And then to our pasta salad, I'm also adding some sliced black olives, some finely chopped purple onion, some bright green edamame, and some carrots. For the dressing, I'm just using plenty of this Olive Garden salad dressing. I love this stuff, and I'm really just eyeballing this. I don't want the pasta salad to be swimming in dressing, but I do want it to have a lot of flavor. So to this, I also added some salt, some pepper, and some garlic powder. And check it out, you guys. I love how this pasta salad turned out. It really does make me think of the Haunted Mansion. And of course, it is super tasty as well. And most importantly, this is delicious. Next, I'm adding 2 different types of green fruit. And I definitely wanted to get some green color in here because a lot of the cast members who work at the Haunted Mansion have green in their costumes. Next, for the veggie, I'm just adding a few of these purple carrots. And for a snack on the side, I'm adding in some of these guacamole flavored Tostitos. These are so good, they're a little bit spicy, and of course I love that they are bright green. So now that our little ghost cookies have set up, I can go ahead and add those in as well. And finally, for the drink, I'm just adding in this grape Olipop. Not only is it purple, but it's also my favorite. Okay guys, next up I'm making an all-green lunch inspired by ghoulish characters like zombies, monsters, and of course, Frankenstein. For the main course, I'm starting by preheating our thermos because this lunch is going to be a hot one. And you guys, I found the cutest mac and cheese at Target. This is so perfect for spooky season and it comes with 3 different Halloween shapes. Now, of course, this mac and cheese doesn't come green, so I'm gonna use a little bit of this natural food coloring to make it green. Oh yes, and just to make sure there are no lumps in our cheese sauce, I like to make it up separately and then add it to the pasta. And check this out, you guys. It is bright monster green. This mac and cheese is slimy, it's oozy, and it looks like it came straight out of Dr. Frankenstein's lab. For the fruit, I'm adding 2 green favorites, grapes and kiwi. And you guys, for the veggie, I decided to go with some ghoul peas, aka sweet peas. These fruits are getting lots and lots of little eye picks to help make them look extra creepy. I want this lunch to look like it's staring at you as you're eating it. But then for the snacks, I have a few things to add. First, I found the most ghoulish green cheese balls at Walmart. These are so fun. They almost look like cereal, but trust me, they are super cheesy. I'm gonna go ahead and add some right over here. I'm also adding some Monster veggie chips for a little extra crunch, and a green Monster Jell-O cup with plenty of eyeball stickers on the side. Now you guys, that brings me to our sweet treat, and I'm gonna make something called Cheater Monster Krispies. Now I say cheater because they are so easy, and they are the perfect easy food craft for kids to help make. All you have to do is grab some store-bought or homemade Rice Krispie treats. Next, you're gonna spread on a little bit of green frosting. Then you're gonna top the frosting with lots of candy eyeballs. These are seriously the quickest but creepiest treats you'll ever make. And then guys, for the drink, I'm keeping things simple but spooky with some Kool-Aid. Now for Griffin's lunch, I decided to go with a Bluey meets Halloween theme. And just like with Lily's lunch, I'm going to start with a super simple, no-bake treat first. And for this one, you're going to need some Oreos. Now, I do have the Halloween version, but you can use any type that you like. Now, you're also going to need some white melting chocolate. And lastly, you're going to need some candy ice sprinkles. These are going to be mummy cookies. So all you have to do is melt your white chocolate. I'll use some of this chocolate to stick the eyes on. And then using a little baggie, I'm just going to go back and forth over the Oreo like this to create a mummy effect. Now, these are going to go in the fridge to set up, and And while that's happening, I can make Griffin's sandwich. Griffin's favorite sandwich is a ham and cheese, so I'm going to make that, but I'm going to make it in the shape of Bluey wearing a vampire costume. This sandwich turned out so fun. I absolutely love it. Now moving on to the fruit, I went ahead and picked up this special Halloween edition applesauce pouch. So Griffin will get one of these on the side. And then for the veggies, the first thing I'm going to do is put together some cream cheese stuffed peppers. But I'm not just going to leave these as a regular peppers. I'm going to very carefully take my paring knife and I'm going to carve each little pepper like you would a jack-o'-lantern. Once I have the faces on there, I'm just going to add a little bit of cream cheese on the inside. Now to go along with the peppers, I'm also going to throw in some cucumbers. Now last week I made Griffin some mini cucumber ghosts, but today I'm making him some giant ones. To go along with all the veggies, I'm also adding some ranch. Next, I'm going to take some mozzarella cheese and I'm going to cut each stick into thirds. And then I'm going to very carefully cut through the bottom of each little chunk of cheese. And that's to create sort of a witch's broom base. Then for the broom handle, I'm just going to stick in some pretzels. Now I'm going to get all of these brooms into the lunchbox. And then right next to those, I'm going to add some cherry tomatoes. Now I do want to add some ranch to go along with all of those veggies. On the side, I'm also packing Griffin a bag of these monster veggie chips. And now that our Oreo mummies are ready, I can go ahead and pack some of those too. But it looks like I can only fit one. Okay guys, now I hope this video inspired you to make some fun Halloween lunches for yourself. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Now guys, this next lunch idea is definitely picky eater approved and it's super quick to put together. When I spotted these spooky nuggets at the supermarket, I knew I had to work them into a lunch this week. They are so fun. And you guys, since my favorite Halloween movie is Casper, I decided to give this one a ghost theme. Seriously, if you haven't seen Casper, it is so cheesy, but it is so good, especially the part at the end. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I love it. Back to today's lunch. I'm going to start by preheating our thermos, and to be totally honest, whenever it comes to packing chicken nuggets for school lunch, usually they'll stay warm, but they're not going to stay super crispy. So keep that in mind if you have an extra picky eater that you're making these for. Now guys, these spooky nuggets do also come in a pumpkin shape and a bat shape too, but of course I'm only only cooking the ghost ones for this lunch. I love to cook these in the air fryer, and once they're done, I'll go ahead and dump the hot water out of the thermos, then dry it really well with half a piece of paper towel. Then I'll fold up the other half of the dry paper towel and I'll put it at the bottom of the thermos before I add the nugget. Now the idea is that the paper towel will help to soak up any steam coming from the nuggets so they don't get quite as soggy. So now that I have these in here, I'm going to add something on top just for fun. I'm going to take a piece of white cheese and using a cookie cutter and a straw, I'm going to cut out a little cheese ghost to go on top of the nuggets. Now, I love this, you guys. It's like a little friendly ghost surprise for lunchtime. For the fruit, I'm going to add some blackberries. These are dark and spooky, just like Whipstaff Manor from the movie Casper. And then for the veggies, I'm going to cut out some ghost shapes using some cucumbers. Now, these are another thing that I make every year for Halloween lunches. They are super easy and so cute. Next, for some snacks, I'll start by adding some yogurt with some Halloween sprinkles, of course. And then I had planned to use some of these ghost-shaped veggie chips, but as you can see, they are completely broken. I can't really see any ghosts at all. So instead, I'm just going to use some white cheddar popcorn, still ghostly and still delicious. And friends, look at these little sweet treats. These are ghost brownie bites. They are so easy to make, they definitely feel like cheating. To make these, you can use some store-bought brownie bites or make them yourself. Then you just add a little bit of Halloween frosting. This one comes already ready from the store, so it's super quick. Then once I have the frosting on there, I just top each one with a ghost sprinkle. And check it out, you guys. These all look like friendly ghosts to me. And then last but not least, for an extra spooky occasion, I do have an extra special drink. I'm gonna pack a Cookies and Scream Yoo-Hoo. I just printed out a little ghost on some regular paper, I cut it out, and now I'm gonna tape it around the milk box. It's easy, but special and totally ghost approved. And that would be a Wednesday themed lunch. Now again, this is another show that Mackenzie has watched on Netflix, but I have not. Although I did watch the Addams Family movie, the one from the 90s, a bunch of times, so I am familiar. I ended up cheating a little bit and I watched this YouTube video, so I would kind of know what this show is about. For the main course, I'm going to start by mixing up some waffle batter, and to give this a yummy flavor and a purple color, I'm just adding a few drops of ube flavoring, which I love, by the way. Ube is so delicious. Let me know down below if you are a fan. Then you guys, I have the perfect waffle iron for this. It's a spider web, but it also reminds me of the stained glass window from the show. I'm going to turn these waffles into a little sandwich. I'm just adding some purple berry cream cheese and some blackberry jam. For the fruit, I'm adding a combination of blackberries. These ones are actually kind of sour. But then on the sweet side, I'm also going to add some of these gummy berries, which are technically grapes and not berries. Now, to go along with this, I'm also adding some purple carrots, some freeze-dried yogurt bites, and then I have just enough space left for some very strange Oreos. Now, I've been seeing these Oreos all over the internets, and apparently they are just super, super stuffed.
Her name comes from a line from my favorite nursery rhyme. Wednesday's child is full of woe.
And now last but not least, for the special drink, I'm just going to mix up some grape juice and some sparkling lemonade. And this is going to create a very nice purpley punch. Next up, I'm making my daughter Mackenzie's lunch, and for her, I'm going with a Kiki's delivery service theme. Now, you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you've ever seen this movie before, but basically, it's a Japanese anime about an independent little witch named Kiki. And since this movie is from Japan, I'm also including lots of Halloween goodies from Japan in Mackenzie's lunch. Now, I know I've shared about the Tokyo Treat Box before, but basically it's one of those monthly subscription boxes, but of course this one just has treats from Japan. I'm going to let Mackenzie pick out her snack and her treat from this box. For Mackenzie's main course, I'm going to put together one of her favorites, egg salad. This time, however, instead of using regular mayo, I'm going to use a very famous Japanese mayo called Kewpie. Now, Kewpie is a little bit different than traditional American mayonnaise because it's made with only egg yolks, not the whole egg. And this is the type of mayo that I used to buy when I lived in Japan. And you guys, I absolutely love how this mayonnaise comes out in a little star shape. There's just something about that that's very satisfying to me. Keeping with our theme, I'm going to make these into mini sandwiches with a cat and a witch shape. Now on the side, I'm going to add a little salad. So in goes the romaine lettuce, and then on top I'm adding a few pieces of carrot that I cut into little cat shapes. And then with these cute cat food picks, I'm going to add some edamame. Now, I'd never thought about adding edamame to a food pick before, but recently I started For for Mackenzie's snack, she chose these little cheese puff balls that are actually pizza flavored. And for her sweet treat, she actually picked something from Japan that didn't come from this box. She chose some Halloween Pocky. Now honestly, I'm looking at what's here and it's not looking like it's very much. So on the side, I'm also going to give Mackenzie a pumpkin fig bar, a Halloween Go-Gurt, and for her drink, she's just going to be having some water. Okay guys, now moving on to a lunch for Lily. And for her, I'm going with another classic Halloween movie theme. This time it's Hocus Pocus. And I definitely want to start with the no-bake treat first. And I have my helper Griffin here with me. These little no-bake treats are so easy to put together and they only take a few ingredients. These are called witch hat cookies. Now you could use Oreos for this, but I think it's so much faster to use these fudge striped cookies. To make these, you're also going to need either some melting chocolate or you could use frosting. You're also going to want to use your favorite Halloween sprinkles. And then lastly, you're going to need some regular Hershey Kisses. But you guys, these ones are actually witch themed as well, but that's a different fandom altogether. Some of them look like sorting hats, and when you turn them upside down, it gives you the different houses. There's one with a Patronus on it. There's one with Luna's glasses. There's one that says it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. And one of my favorites has to be the Happy Birthday Harry Cake. Griffin and I are going to go ahead and unwrap these so that they're ready to go. In a microwave safe bowl, I'm going to melt the chocolate. Now I'm using orange, but you could use any color, or you could just use some chocolate chips as well. And to make this easier to get onto our cookies, I've put this melted chocolate in a little baggie. So now I'm just going to pipe on the chocolate, and I'm putting some extra here because as we stick on the Hershey Kiss, the chocolate is going to look like a festive band around the top of the hat. And then you guys, while this chocolate is still soft, you're going to want to add plenty of sprinkles. These are looking so good already, but I'm going to go ahead and pop these in the fridge so that they can harden up. And then I'll move on to the main course. I'm making Lily a sandwich that looks like the spell book from Hocus Pocus. And for the filling, I'm gonna go with sort of a pizza flavor. I'm adding a layer of cream cheese, followed by some turkey pepperoni, and a slice of mozzarella cheese. And yes, just like all the sandwiches, I'm making this one a triple decker. Next, using my food writer pens and my sandwich stamp, I'm gonna make the sandwich really look spooky. Now, of course, the book in the movie has a little eyeball, so I definitely want to add one too. Now the rest of the lunch is going to be pretty easy, and I'm basing it off of colors of the 3 Sanderson sisters. To represent Sarah, I'm adding some yellow pineapple. And to represent Winifred, I'm adding some mandarin oranges. Now to go along with this, I had to add something cat theme, and that's to represent Binks from the movie. And then for Mary, I wanted something sort of purple or blue, which was kind of hard to find. So I decided to go with these blueberry almonds, which to me look purple. And now you guys check out our witch hat cookies. I think I can squeeze in just 2 of these. And now last but not least, for Lily's drink, I'm making a special Hocus Pocus punch. Now I want this to be orange, so I'm combining some pineapple mango juice and some orange creamsicle sparkling water. This is super fruity and refreshing. For Lily's snack on the side, I'm going to add a little bag of Halloween-themed chips. Now last week I gave her the cinnamon and sugar flavored ones, but this week she's getting the white cheddar. And these are extra spooky because the pieces are shaped like a skeleton. Okay friends, I'm going with a Beetlejuice theme. You guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you've ever watched any of the Beetlejuice movies. I've seen both of them, but I have to say the first one is probably my favorite. For Mackenzie's main course, I'm going to make her a smoked turkey and cheese sandwich, but just like her sandwich last week, I'm making her a triple-decker. Now, instead of adding mayonnaise, I'm spreading on some herbed cream cheese. And instead of regular cheese, I found this at Aldi. Now I buy this every year around Halloween time. It's called Frankenstein cheese and it has a sage flavor to it. So I'll add 1 slice of that and then 2 slices of smoked turkey. For the next layer though, I'm just adding more cream cheese and more green cheese. And now comes the fun part. I'm just using some food safe markers to stamp on the design. And check it out, you guys. It's the ghostest with the mostest. Now, before I add the sandwich in the lunchbox, I'm going to add a layer of tortilla chips. I have some of these Halloween tortilla chips left over from last week, so I'll go ahead and add a layer of that and then add in the sandwich. And right next to that, I'm adding something a little unusual. I'm going to take some mozzarella cheese, I'm going to cut it into chunks, and I'm going to combine the mozzarella cheese with some black olives, and this is to create the sandworms from the movie. Next, for some fruit on the side, I'm just going to add some green grapes. And to go along with this, I also have some delicious avocado chips. Now, I got these at Walmart, and you guys, they almost taste like Doritos. They are so good. And now for the sweet treat, Lily and I already made these ahead of time. These are Beetlejuice cookies. These are so easy to make and definitely fun to get your kids involved. I just took some store-bought sugar cookie dough and I cut each of these in half to make a smaller cookie. Lily and I rolled the cookie dough into balls, and then we rolled those into sprinkles. And you guys, I do not have enough green sprinkles, so I'm just gonna make it work. While those were in the oven, we unwrapped a bunch of Hershey Hugs. Now these are perfect for a Beetlejuice theme because they are white with the dark stripes, just like Beetlejuice's suit. Now once the cookies are out of the oven, you're going to press one Hershey Hug into each cookie. I'll go ahead and add just a couple of these to Mackenzie's lunchbox, and then for her drink, I have to go with something bright green. And this one is actually a passion fruit kiwi flavor. Okay guys, now that brings me to my daughter Lily's lunch, and for her, I'm going with a jack-o'-lantern theme. For her main course, I'm gonna start by making a quesadilla. Now of course, you could use this whole tortilla and make a big jack-o'-lantern, but since I want these to fit in her lunchbox, I'm going to use my pumpkin cookie cutter to cut out smaller pumpkins. Next, I'm going to go ahead and punch out the face, and if you don't have smaller cookie cutters, you could also just use a knife to cut out the holes. Next, I'm going to throw them onto my sprayed pan until the cheese is melted. Now, sticking with the jack-o'-lantern theme, for Lily's fruit, I'm just adding a little cutie orange. For this, I just used my Food Writer pen on the outside to make it look like a jack-o'-lantern. And for her veggie, I'm adding her favorite carrot-stuffed cucumbers. Next, I'm adding some more edamame in here. All of my kids love this stuff. For Lily's snack, I'm adding some jack-o'-lantern and bat-shaped pretzels, and I'm going to put them in this really cute jack-o'-lantern snack container. For Lily's sweet treat, I have some special Halloween popcorn. Now, I found these at Sam's Club, and in this pack there's actually several different flavors, but of course I'm going with the kettle corn flavor because it has a jack-o'-lantern on the packaging. Oh, and by the way, you guys, right now at Sam's Club they also have this in the Christmas version. And now you guys, last but not least, for Lily's drink, she's just having some orange Gatorade. I'm going with a Slytherin theme. Now, I know Harry Potter isn't necessarily a Halloween series, but it does have witches, wizards, ghosts, and goblins, so it goes well with Halloween. And for our family, we started a tradition of having a Harry Potter movie marathon every year around Halloween. While planning this lunch, I definitely got lots of inspiration from this really fun cookbook. In here, there are so many awesome Harry Potter themed recipes, but for Jackson's Slytherin themed main course, I decided to make a pizza stuffed snake. For this, I'm just using some mini pepperoni, some sliced mozzarella, and some crescent dough. Now you definitely could use pizza dough for this instead, but I'm just going to take this crescent dough sheet and I'm going to cut it into 4 strips. And then I'm just going to fill each one. Now I'm going to carefully roll each of them up, and I'm really trying to pinch the seams here so that the pizza filling doesn't ooze out when it's baking. Next, it's time to make these look like snakes. So I'm just going to twist them around a bit like this into sort of a snake shape, and I'm trying not to make these too big because after all, they're going to need to fit in the lunch boxes. While those are baking, I'm going to move on to some tomatoes. I'm just adding a few of these to some spooky skeleton skewers. I think these look really cool. These little tomatoes are something both of my boys would love to have in their lunch, but both of my girls would not. They're not fans of tomatoes at all. Now on this other side, I'm going to add some shelled and lightly seasoned edamame. And to go along with them, I'm adding just a few pieces of carrots. And I'm going to spell out the name of our favorite Slytherin character. That's right, we are a huge fan of Snape. I think he is totally misunderstood. So now that our pizza stuffed snakes are done and cooled down a bit, I can go ahead and add them to the lunchbox. And to make these look even more like a snake, I'm going to draw some lines and details on top using my food writer pens. For Jackson's snack, I picked up some Cheetos, but these are actually the special Halloween version of Cheetos. For Jackson's sweet treat, I'm sticking with the snake theme by adding just 2 of these gummy twin snakes. And of course, I'm adding just the green and yellow ones to represent Slytherin. And then last but not least for Jackson's drink, he's just having some water in this really cool Slytherin bottle. Now I'm just going to pack this all up and it's going to be ready to go. Okay guys, next up is my son Griffin's lunch, and this time I'm going with a monster theme, but instead of a scary monster, I'm going with these cute ones. For Griffin's main course, I'm going to make some monster pasta. Now I've seen this all over Pinterest, but I'm kind of making my own version. Today I'm using some fresh fettuccine pasta, and to make this pasta green, I'm also using our favorite pesto from Costco. Now, since the pasta is going to cook super fast, I'm actually going to start by preparing the eyeballs that go in our dish first. For this, I'm just using some cherry tomatoes, some mini mozzarella pearls, and some black olives. I'm going to cut each tomato in half, then I'm going to scoop out the center to make room for the cheese. Then, using my straw, I'm just going to remove a little bit of the cheese, and then I'm going to stuff that with a little piece of olive. And that's how I make an edible monster eyeball. So now back to the pasta. To my boiling water, I'm adding a bit of green food coloring, and that's just to make sure that this pasta is extra green. Once the pasta is cooked, I'm going to go ahead and drain it, and then it's time for the pesto. And I'm adding quite a bit of pesto. My kids love this stuff. So now I'm going to get this into the lunchbox, and of course you could serve this hot or it's just fine at room temperature. Next, I'm making a monster apple. This again is another Halloween classic. All you need for this is a wedge of apple that I'm going to fill mine with peanut butter, and for the monster's teeth, I'm sticking in some slivered almonds. And no, you do not have to have the teeth perfect here. You kind of want them like this. Now to finish this off, I'm just using a bit of peanut butter as some glue, and I'm going to stick on these giant eyeball sprinkles. For Griffin's snack, I found these super fun monster-shaped veggie chips at Target. These are made with potato and spinach and carrot. They're super tasty. And then for his sweet treat, I have something extra special. I found these eyeball cake balls at Sam's Club, and look how creepy these are. Now, I was gonna make something like this from scratch, but buying them pre-made at the store definitely saves a lot of time. And now for Griffin's drink, he chose an apple juice with a monster topper. I'm going with a Ghostbusters theme. Now, I don't really remember the older Ghostbusters movies, but my kids and I have watched the newer ones. Now for this lunch, I'm going to start by making the sweet treat first. This is a no-bake treat and it comes together so quickly. And this recipe is totally customizable. So if you're not a fan of candy corn, you can definitely leave it out. So to my large bowl, I'm gonna start by adding about 2 cups of popcorn. Now to this, I'm going to add about 1 cup of pretzels, and then I'm just adding a 1 cup of Chex cereal. Now I'm gonna set this aside, and in a microwave safe bowl, I'm going to add about 2 cups of mini marshmallows and about 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Now I'm gonna pop this in the microwave for about a minute or so, and I do want to give it a stir midway. Once the marshmallows are nice and melted, I'm going to turn this green, and that's because whenever I think of Ghostbusters, I automatically think of the green slime from the Ghost Slimer. This definitely looks ooey, gooey, sticky, and slimy. I'm gonna pour this all over the dry ingredients. Then I'm gonna give it a big stir until all the pieces are coated in that slime. Next, I'm going to pour out this mixture onto a baking sheet, and then it's time for the toppings. And like I said, you can customize this, but I'm adding half a cup of Halloween M&Ms, about half a cup of candy corn, and a few handfuls of mini marshmallows. Now, if I had salty peanuts, I would definitely add those in too. I love that combination of sweet and salty together, but I don't have any of that. So instead, I'm just adding some sprinkles. Now I'm gonna press this down just a bit so that the M&Ms and the candy corns and the sprinkles will definitely stick. Now this mixture has the texture of like a Rice Krispie treat, and it stays nice and chewy, but I'm gonna go ahead and set it aside and move on to Jackson's sandwich. Now I'm gonna make something that I haven't made in almost 2 years, and it's called a fluffernutter. And I kid you not, you guys, when I said fluffernutter in the kitchen a minute ago, Griffin told me he thought that sounded like a bad word. But if you haven't heard of one, a fluffernutter is just a peanut butter and marshmallow cream sandwich. And yes, just like Mackenzie's lunch, I am making a triple-decker sandwich. Now the reason I'm using marshmallow cream instead of just jam is because it reminds me of another famous ghost from Ghostbusters, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Check it out, you guys. This sandwich turned out so cute. Jackson is going to be so shocked. Next in Jackson's lunch, I'm going to add some cherry tomatoes. And then another thing that Jackson loves is celery. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up so it fits in his lunchbox. But then to one of the pieces of celery, I'm going to stuff that with cream cheese. And that's because I have some carrots to add. I went ahead and used my letter cookie cutters to punch out the word ghost. This is kind of like a savory version of ants on a log. Now, because this lunch doesn't have much protein yet, I'm going to add some rolled up smoked turkey. Then on the side for a crunchy snack, I'm going to pack Jackson some of these ghost and bat chips, and I'm putting them in his coffin snack container. And now I have just enough space for our slimy Halloween snack mix. And now I'm finishing off this lunch by throwing in some Kool-Aid. Now guys, thank you so much for watching, and make sure to stay tuned. Later in this week, I will be having a bonus video coming out for you guys. It's a super fun and spooky Halloween pack with me video. Definitely don't miss it. I can't wait to share it with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.